If you're not familiar with Columbus, Ohio, or the surrounding communities, choosing the wrong neighborhood to live in could cost you not only financial, but just from a personal standpoint as well. You're lucky that I'm a Columbus native and I know all about Central Ohio. And on today's episode, I am gonna take you on a tour of an amazing community. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure that you stick around until the end of this video because being a local, I am going to reveal a few secret spots that you are not going to want to miss about living in New Albany, Ohio. We are in the charming neighborhood of Hamstead here in New Albany, Ohio. This master plan community has over 700 homes, and most of them were built in the late 90s or early 2000s. I personally live in this neighborhood, and the reason why my wife and I decided to live here is extremely family-centric. Doesn't matter the time of day almost. You will see tons of kids out here riding their bikes, running around. So when we decided to start our family, we thought this was a perfect fit for us. So that's something you can expect while living here. Now, home prices in this neighborhood have really appreciated exceptionally fast over the last 4 years. Right now, you're looking at a median home price for a 4-bed, 3.5 bath home. It's around $630,000 here in 2024. Another thing to consider about this neighborhood is there's not a lot of houses that come up for sale. There's only been 6 sold this year. So it's very desirable for a lot of people that want to get into New Albany, and maybe they don't have $1 million to spend like you would have to in other communities here in New Albany, Ohio. Another reason why we love living here is proximity. We can get to the little charming downtown part of New Albany within 2 to 4 minutes, depending on traffic. We're really close to 161, so if we want to get to the airport rather quickly, if we're going on vacation, that takes about 15 minutes. If we want to get into the city, it's maybe 20, 25, depending on traffic. So this actual neighborhood is a perfect location if you are looking for those type of amenities. If the Hamstead neighborhood doesn't work for you because you want something a little bit more quiet or you need a larger home, then the New Albany Country Club communities might be a good place for you to go. Now behind me, you have a 27-hole golf course, which is absolutely beautiful. It's some of the best golfing you will get here in Central Ohio and maybe even in the state. And if you're expecting to find a home here, you're gonna be looking at around $1.3 million on average to get into this community. What I love about the Country Club communities is the access that you have to the club. Now you still have to be a member, so you have to pay for it. But when you have membership to the country club, you've got access to 5 pools, you've got pickleball courts, tennis courts, a fitness center, and not to mention some killer restaurant options. And if you're into having great cocktails, you got a couple of great bars as well. So if you're somebody that's relocating here or you live here and you want to be in this type of community, if you want to have access to the country club, then this is going to be the place for you. We are going to take a look at the quaint downtown area of New Albany. Now, if you didn't know this about New Albany, population is right around 11,000 people, so we are on the smaller side of other suburbs here in Central Ohio. And more than likely, if you're relocating from other cities, this is definitely gonna feel more small town or farm town vibe than maybe what you're used to. But the residents here in New Albany actually really love that because it keeps things kind of quaint and quiet. Now you'll find all sorts of restaurants and shops, all sorts of things here in the downtown area of New Albany. Some of my favorites are Fox in the Snow. If you haven't had their cinnamon rolls or their cookies, you're definitely missing out. You have Hudson 29, which is a very popular Cameron Mitchell restaurant. Not to mention you've got a smoothie place, you've got a W Nail Bar if you need pedicure, manicure done. So you have all your essentials without it feeling too big. And I think that's one thing that the people that move here and live here really love about New Albany. Now, as far as the growth, that has been the big question recently because 2 years ago, there was a huge announcement that Engel was investing $20 billion to build their microfab facility just east of here. And that has stirred up a lot of controversy if New Albany is going to remain small or if they're going to see this massive explosion that other Engel cities, will call them, experience when Intel came. Now, right now, some of the economic impact that we're seeing is there's definitely a lot of more opportunities happening here in New Albany, whether that's breweries coming out here, different types of shopping centers, small shopping centers being built around the New Albany area. So you're probably gonna see a lot of growth here over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, what's interesting about Intel is also the people that it's going to bring. And that is one thing that the residents of New Albany are concerned about, is where are they gonna put all these people? Because we just don't build a ton of housing developments here in the city of New Albany. On another hand, it's good for jobs. We've got the data center just east of here, where you have companies like Google and Facebook and Amazon doing a lot of their data things. And if you have Intel coming out, then we've become like this ultimate tech and data center, which is ultimately a wonderful thing for New Albany. It will be interesting to see kind of the growth of the downtown area, and if they do kind of other things like a bridge park. That's something that's been floated around that you see in Dublin, or if New Albany will just remain small, which I know a lot of people here really are hoping for. If education is important to you, then New Albany might be the place that you want to raise your kids. See, New Albany Schools is constantly rated in the top 3 in Central Ohio year after year. And as you can see behind me, this looks like a college campus. Teachers are rated exceptionally high. They actually get paid quite a bit of money, so I know that's why they stick around and they want to be a great teacher, because you're getting well compensated. Not to mention there's a ton of amenities that your child will have here, whether that's the indoor swimming facility, some of the extracurricular things that they offer, and their athletics are some of the top in Central Ohio. One of the many things I love about living in New Albany is our parks, and we have them scattered all throughout the community, but our largest and probably the busiest is Bevelheimer Park. It's over 145 acres with 32 fields that make up of lacrosse, soccer, baseball, softball, football, and as you can see behind me, we've got a basketball court and 16 pickleball courts that were introduced last year. This place is an absolute zoo on the weekend, so if you have young kids, this is the place you're gonna be for all of your Saturdays and Sundays in the summer. Well, that's a glimpse into the charming community of New Albany. If you're thinking about living here, or if you're thinking about relocating to the Columbus or surrounding areas, make sure you download my free relocation guide in the description below. Also, if you want to see more videos on what it's like to live in Columbus or the surrounding areas, make sure you check out more of my videos